everybody. My name is James Nicol and I'm the author of the Apprentice Witch book series. And welcome to my June 2020 video newsletter. I hope you've all been keeping well since my last update. I've been busy writing. You can see my notebook there on the table just behind me. And I've also been doing a few events and planning things for later in the year. So more on that later. The first one is My Name is River by Emma Ray. And this book actually doesn't come out until the beginning of August, the 6th of August. It's published by Firefly Press, and it is an amazing adventure all about a young boy called Dylan who lives on a farm in Wales. And when the family farm is threatened, he tells a massive fib that he's gone on the school geography trip, but actually what he's done is he's snuck off to Brazil with one of his friends to try and track down the people that own the corporation that are planning to take over his farm. And he ends up falling in with a young girl called Lucia, who is she lives on the streets in Brazil, and they end up on this amazing adventure through the Amazon rainforest. Dylan's mum thinks he's on the school geography trip. Dylan's teacher thinks he's at home with flu. In fact, he is 30,000 feet up in the air on the way to Brazil. When Dylan's farm is snatched away by a huge global company, he can't just sit back and watch, but the journey to rescue his home takes him deep into the heart of the Amazon. With Floyd, a friend he's not sure of, and Lucia, a street kid armed with a thesaurus and a Great Dane puppy, he uncovers dark secrets and learns some surprising truths. I thought this was a really stunning adventure, very fresh, very different from lots of other books that I've read. There's a fantastic journey, there's wonderful friendships between the characters, but for me it was a lot to do with the amazing vivid descriptions, particularly of the rainforest and the streets of Brazil, which just completely sprang off the page and came to life for me, a place that I don't know at all. Emma's description and clearly her research has worked wonders in terms of bringing those places to life for the reader. It really tackles some big issues as well, but not in a heavy-handed way, in a very personal and thoughtful way that everybody can understand and relate to. One of the things I really loved was the way that Dylan, the main character, has this odd kind of sixth sense about people. So in the book it's described as he understands the type of liquids that flow through their veins, whether it's something hot and volcanic for somebody who's quite dangerous, or whether it's something much purer or gentler for the good characters, although sometimes he doesn't always really understand what it is that he's sensing. And interestingly, he doesn't understand himself right until the very end of the story. My Name is River comes out on the 6th of August, and stay tuned because I have been asked to host the virtual launch with Emma Ray. So I'm really, really excited about that, and I'll be giving you more details nearer the time. So keep an eye out for news on my Facebook page and on Twitter and on Instagram as well if you want to join in. And finally, thank you very much to Firefly Press for sending me an advanced copy for me to read. I really, really enjoyed it, and I hope you'll keep an eye out for it when it's published in August. Now, I love graphic novels, so I was really excited when I finally got my hands on this book 4 in the 5 Worlds Adventures, The Amber Anthem by Mark and Alexis Siegel, Xanthi Boomer, Matt Rockefeller and Boya Sun. The books tell the story of Una, Jax and Ansu as they travel around their tiny little part of the galaxy to various different planets, trying to relight some ancient beacons to bring balance and harmony back to their part of the universe. Una Lee arrives on the mystical planet of Salasandra, determined to light the beacon and stop the evil Mimic's plan to destroy the galaxy. But the beacon is encased in amber. Is the mission over before it's begun? A mysterious clue leads her to hunt for the lyrics of an old anthem that might unlock the beacon. While Una searches, Jax Amboy must fight an enemy that is surprisingly familiar. Meanwhile, Stan Moon attacks Ansu, who discovers a shocking secret about his past, a secret that could be the key to defeating the Mimic or cause their defeat. Because this time it will take more than just Una and her friends to defeat the Mimic and save the 5 worlds. It will take an army 10,000 strong. It's not just the amazing illustrations that make this series so good. The story and the plot is so engaging, so pacey. I was hooked right from the very beginning, and I bought all the first 3 books kind of in one go because I just couldn't wait to find out what would happen to Una and her friends. I love the fact that the magic in the books is not kind of destructive or kind of violent magic. It's very creative, the way that Una uses this magical sand to create portals and to create figures or anything that she needs, a bit kind of like the Green Lantern, I suppose. And so I think that's a really lovely message that comes out of the stories about creativity and not destroying things, but also about friendship and about doing things right even when they're really, really difficult. So do keep an eye out for this amazing series. This is book 4 and it's the Amber Anthem. But if you want to find the others, book 1 is The Sand Warrior. Book 2 is The Cobalt Prince. And book 3 is The Red Maze. And I highly, highly recommend them. Five Worlds, The Amber Anthem is published by Random House Books and it's available now. And now for something a little bit different. I'm a huge fan of picture books, and when I was a bookseller many years ago, I had a real passion for wonderful picture books, and they just continue to get better and better and better. And this month we are treated to the magnificent Llama Glamorama. I mean, if that doesn't dazzle you, nothing will. Written by Simon James Green and with illustrations by Gary Parsons. This is an absolute triumph of a book. Larry the Llama's big secret is that late at night, when no one is watching, he loves to dance. Then one day he stumbles upon the Llama Glamorama. Will this raucous celebration give Larry the pride he needs to bring his dance back home? This is an absolute glorious book, all about being yourself, not being afraid to kind of stand out a little bit from the crowd and realising that we are all completely unique and individual and different from one another. The story is very, very positive and upbeat, as you can probably guess, and the illustrations don't disappoint as well. This is my absolute favourite one here of Larry just really letting go and having a fantastic dance there. And this is the type of illustration we see all the way through, completely joyful, really engaging and colourful. And I especially love Larry's 3 friends as well, who have all very unique and individual facial expressions as well, that just really help to bring the story to life. Llama Glamorama is published by Scholastic and it's available now, so do keep an eye out for it. I loved it so much, I've already bought 3 copies. Now, coming up this month, from the 20th to the 27th of June 2020, is Independent Bookshop Week here in the UK and Ireland. Now, normally this is celebrated with a whole host of activities and events. And last year I was lucky enough to be part of the Great North Author Tour that was organised by the fantastic Drake the Bookshop, and it's a shame that won't be happening this year, unfortunately, but that doesn't mean that you can't still celebrate your local independent bookshop. Just get in touch with them through their websites, through their Facebook pages or through their social media, and see what books they've got on offer, see what reading recommendations they have, and spread the independent bookshop love this Independent Bookshop Week. Our independent bookshops really do offer us something very individual and unique, and I've been lucky enough to do lots of events with them over the past 4 years, and I look forward to doing many more events in the future. So big love from me to all our independent bookshops, and make sure you support yours in any way that you can. So this month I was very lucky to be invited to talk to the second Runkton Home and Watlington Beaver group, and it was amazing. I did a talk years and years ago for a guide group, but I don't very often do talks for beavers and scout group, but I have a couple coming up, and I was really excited when, ta-da, they kindly invited me to become an honorary beaver in their lodge, which was just an amazing thing for them to do. So huge thank you to everybody at the Beavers, the second Runkton Home and Watlington group, and to Jim, who's their leader, for very kindly asking me to become an honorary beaver, which was just the most amazing. If you're part of a school or a group and you'd like to invite me to come and speak to you, obviously at the moment that would be virtually, then do get in touch through my website, jamesnicolbooks.com. Now, as I said earlier, this month's question was one of the questions I got asked at my virtual visit to the Beavers group at Runkton Home and Watlington. And one of the Beavers asked a question that I do get asked quite a lot. And I think every author kind of approaches this in a different way. But the question was, where do you get your ideas from? And initially, I told them a bit of a lie, which was that I take this box outside, I open the lid, I put some cookies inside, and I wait for the ideas to eat the cookies, and then I close the lid and catch them in the box, which is not true, obviously. But I do keep lots of ideas in this purple box here. But ideas come from all over the place. So they might come from listening to something on the radio or something on the TV. It might be just a single word or a single sentence that you read in a book or hear in a film or a TV program. I love looking at magazines about things. So we get the magazine from English Heritage, and that's always got really interesting bits and pieces in it. Sometimes I'll snaffle bits out of there. I collect postcards with pictures on of things that I find really, really interesting. Snip things out of magazines that might be of use or of interest, something about Mars, all those sorts of things. Maps from when you go to visit places. This is a beautiful map here. All those sorts of things kind of might spark an idea at some point, or they might spark an idea at the time. Sometimes it's about going back through those things and thinking about how stories might come of them. But that's a really important thing, is to kind of gather those ideas so that when you're looking for something to write about or you need something, you've got a bank of resources to go back to and look at. And also, I probably said this before, the importance of having a notebook with you, or some way, it doesn't have to be a notebook, but some way of recording those ideas and thoughts when you have them, because it's never when you're sat at the computer or with your notebook and you've got lots of time to work and write that the ideas tend to come. It's always when you're off busy doing something else. So making sure you've got some way of recording those flashes of inspiration when you have them is really, really useful, because then when you get stuck or you think, what was that idea I had the other day, you can go back and you can look at all of those ideas you've written down in the past, or rummage through your box of images and clippings, and then hopefully something will spark, the inspiration will come and the idea will flourish. Thank you all very much for watching again. I can't believe it's June already. The year just seems to be rushing by. Thank you to everybody who's watched all of the previous videos as well, and for likes and sharing those things as well. Don't forget, if you want to keep up to date with things, then do subscribe to the YouTube channel, clicking on the link wherever it is down there. And also give me a like and a follow on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. I'm often hanging around there, so you'll see updates from me fairly regularly. And if you want to subscribe to the newsletter and be first to receive this video every month, because those who subscribe to the newsletter get it a few days ahead of everybody else, then do please go to my website, jamesnicolbooks.com, and sign up to the newsletter there. And until next month, take care, happy reading, and look after yourselves. Thank you. Bye.